Senor King.
How's it? Speak that language.
Spanish.
Spanish.
How's it going?
It is wonderful. We're going to clean.
You're going to clean the Nuova Simonelli MDX. This is a commercial grinder?
Yes.
Okay.
They get very dirty because you're running a lot of volume through them. So we're going to go into two things, actually. I'm going to go into the cleaning inside of these burrs.
Okay.
I'm also going to show you this chamber. One of the nice things about this is the most accessible chamber that you can actually get inside here and clean this. You can see this one's pretty new, so it doesn't have that nice gunky buildup.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't very see-through, and that's not how it came.
Yeah, these are clear plastic. They start clear plastic, not brown.
A clearish. So the first thing, of course, over here, which I already have it pushed in, but you can see the little lever to push it in. Otherwise, you end up taking it off and you end up spilling beans everywhere, which I have done.
Okay, but often you'll be doing this kind of maintenance at the end of the day.
You are, but you're, very rarely are you ever completely able to run it out. These grinders, typically, you want to keep it above that little
funnel area
right there anyways. So you're always going to have a little. Hopefully you're not doing it a lot, but they put that in there because it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
From there, I'm going to try to get it to stay. Nice little stiff wind will blow it over. From there we're left with the problem that you always have, of course, is those beans. There's really no way to get around those ones. We're just going to have to suck those out of there.
Okay.
In a cafe, of course, you could just dump it over, pour it out. If you have a shop vac, we can do that as well. And
your hopper, this is a great time to wash that with soap and water.
This is a great time to wash that with soap and water. Also, keep in mind, if you do this and you have some that's in here, it does not mean we can't just go to a bag, open it up and save it. So, again, I know people always want to keep it lower, but you don't have to. You can start it here, dump it into a bag. It's not going to hurt anything. I got some falling out right now.
Nice.
And then we can take it, dump it into the sink, actually rinse all that out because the same buildup will happen here too.
Cool. All right.
So from there, let's just get this out.
Beans out.
Beans out. So we're going to go ahead and take...
towards me a little bit more. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and take these out of here. And one of the nice parts about this, and actually, I'm going to unplug
it. Safety first, folks.
Safety first. One of the nice things about this one here is you can actually take the top off without affecting your grind.
Okay.
So most grinders, when you go in to clean it, we're scared to make a grind adjustment because we have to reset that grind.
Okay.
This one here, this little bugger turns, and it actually turns the bottom burr.
Oh, okay.
And so the nice part about turning that bottom burr is when I take this off, I don't change my grind setting at all.
So the other ones are moving the top burr up and down for your adjustment, and this one is moving the bottom burr up and down?
Just moving your bottom
and
burr.
Keeping the top one stable.
Yep. So this one I can just take out. When I go to put that back in,
it's at the same place.
It's at the exact same grind as I was. So you don't have to be fearful of over cleaning. No such thing. So from there, let's just get all these grinds out of there. And you can see it's a pretty open interface as far as getting most of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I like to try to make sure I really get around those rims so you can see how it's nice and clean there. Still got some right there. But yeah, it's really nice and wide open in here, so we can actually take a little brush or something like that and really get down in there and get most of that out. What we're really trying to get, again, it's the same deal when you have that grind that's coming up here or coming up there.
Yeah.
It's happening in here. It's just invisible in there to most people.
Okay.
So you don't really worry about it.
But it will become a worrisome thing.
It's going to require you to replace your burrs more often. It's going to very quickly show inconsistent grinds. So if it starts just gooping up inside of here, it's like a jelly.
Yeah.
And so when it's in there, then it starts sticking to all this stuff. It starts sticking to your grinds. You end up with this real just nasty kind of look inside of there.
And we don't like that.
No, we don't like that at all.
Okay.
That makes Cat not happy. So once you do that, I can really loosen that out and get the rest of this out of there. But I really tell you, as far as cleaning goes, this is probably one of the easiest ones on the market to clean.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember in a lot of the other ones, or if anyone's watching any other ones here, but you don't have as much room.
Yeah. So it's got some great access in there.
Yep. A lot of times you can't get this in there. You'll see me with like a flathead screwdriver.
So do I have to worry about my grinder chute? Where is that? Is that
So your grinder chute's actually coming down here, and you'll see Simonelli's is a little bit different.
Okay.
If you can actually see through there, it's got three.
Maybe can I spin it that way? Yeah, perfect.
Oh, I can't see. It's got three little chambers, okay, that kind of go through there.
Okay.
That helps from the clumpiness standpoint as well.
I see.
Ideally, yeah, running a little bit through here.
What about this over here? That's straight clump.
Yep, that's straight clump. Let's see where that's actually heading out as well.
Oh, okay.
So the same deal. So what we're going to do, though, I'm going to show you a little more in depth. I was going to actually leave that one alone for a second, because I'm going to show you coming in from this side over here.
Got it.
So in this grinder here, now I've already taken, there's 3 screws that end up here. I went ahead and took those out because they're a little hard to do. And if you can see, there's a little flap. Mm-hmm. So if you get your hand under there and just push that flap up, that'll come right out.
Okay, nice.
Okay? From there, can you see these 2 screws right there?
Yes.
If not, you can go through the middle here.
Yeah.
That is actually, even though it doesn't look like it, it's accessible from a screwdriver.
Okay.
So if you get a long screwdriver like this, you can actually get into there, spin it a couple times. And then this will come right off.
Oh, because it's just in there to, it's not screwed through there.
No, it was just holding these on.
Okay.
This is a very, very, very easy grinder to get into. There's a couple things you can do. One, I'm going to go ahead and take this screw, both of these all the way out. And not drop my washer and lose it. There's a third one this week.
What's that little wire there?
That is actually just to break it up a little bit.
Okay.
So as I start sending around, it's going to sit right there, and it's going to hold them.
I see.
Hold it level. It's a finger, basically.
Oh, wow.
But now I can actually just take this out.
Nice.
And this is really big because there's not a lot of grinders that's easy to do.
I've never seen that.
No. So it's,
you just blew my mind.
That is why I'm employed here.
Exactly.
So now we can actually wash this. And this is really why when I walk into your cafe and I see an MDX and it's filthy,
you're like, no.
Yeah, I'm in a bad mood then.
Okay, so now we've got that, and now you can really get in here with a vacuum or canned air or just...
Or anything.
You can go to town.
And the biggest thing is right through here.
Oh my.
So this is why normally we like to, in most of these videos, we like to go through the back here to show you to clean it out.
That's because we can't get in there.
This one here, I don't worry so much about that because I'm just going to stick a vacuum right inside of there.
Mm-hmm. There's a big old chunk over there that needs to be addressed.
No, that's part of the grinder.
You can get this super, super clean.
Yes.
How often should I be doing this? Extensive of a cleaning with taking the doser hopper off and everything.
Again, it's one of those things that I'd like to do it more often than not. It's a very easy thing to do. I mean, you can see we're broken apart in just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, once a week would just be phenomenal. Realistically, if you're doing it once every couple weeks, you're probably doing better than most people.
Okay.
If you cannot see any oil, you're doing good.
Good. Okay. All right. So let me pause. Will you get yourself situated, and then you can show me how to put it back together again?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to go ahead and put this back together. One thing to do, pay attention to. Hopefully you cleaned it, obviously, but really that edge. So this sits right inside of there. If you do not clean that, it's going to set back, and you're going to have a little bit of a leaking situation. So you really want to make sure.
Some grounds on the countertop.
Yep.
Okay.
So from there, we're just going to go ahead and put our screws back in. We've got 2 of them somewhere on here. I gotta stop losing screws, Kat.
You got a screw loose.
I got a few screws loose. This is always the hardest part for me, is that kind of being upside down part and getting that screw back in. It does take a little time, and I'm not the best at it because I'm always at a different angle. So we've got these screws back in here now. They're a little hard to get into. You really got to make sure you push down on the back here to get in there.
Okay.
You don't want to tighten them all the way. Just keep in mind we still have to put...
the top part.
Yep.
Okay.
So from there, we're going to be able to keep that washer out, keep this washer out, and then we can slide this right back down into it.
So you want the washer to be in front of the plastic?
Yes, because actually right now you can kind of see I have it just a little too tight.
Okay.
So we're going to back that out just a little. Keep that washer all the way to the front right there. Possibly. There we go. All right, so we get it all the way out like that. And then we can actually get in there and pop it in. So then we can just get it right down inside there like that. And then you always want to remember to retighten it, because if you don't, you're going to run into some trouble. Very easy to do though. Do not try to use a smaller screwdriver. I promise you. It doesn't, I don't know why, but the angles just don't quite work.
Okay.
So from here, a nice little bit of pressure. The only real risk to any of this, and this is what you just gotta be careful, we do not want to strip those screws.
Yeah.
If you strip those screws, it is going to be a very, very hard thing to get a hold of. So don't do that. Other than that, that's back together. We're going to put this little flap down there. That flap is really what's going to prevent your coffee from ending up here. So you want to make sure you do that one. And we can put this back on. There's the 3 little screws that go in there. I don't have them with me, so I don't have to worry about that. Putting this back together, just like so.
Just
actually,
line those.
I want to put that towards the back just because I don't like, this is just a little screw that goes through there.
Okay.
Doesn't really make a difference where that goes though. It's just annoying if it's up front. So line it up. 3 screws.
And unless you haven't been doing this regularly, you should be very close to your grind setting that you had before. If it was super dirty, then you probably need to do a little bit of calibration, but
even still, it's going to be so minor. Even if you have a little bit, I mean, again, unless I hit this, it's not going to go anywhere. So you're really, all this work I just did, I'm going to go back and I might have to maybe make an adjustment from 5 to 5.1.
I see.
It's something just so very simple.
Okay.
But, you know, again, this is why you can actually do this a little bit more often. Make it pretty, too. Why not? Yeah, so you do that.
You're all set. Good to go.
And you're back together.
Cool. So doing this more often than not, you know, if you can do once a month, that's fabulous. Once a week would be amazing.
Exactly.
And then also you would want to check your burrs during that process too. You're talking, you say about 1,100 or 1,200?
1,200 pounds is really what it's going to be.
Okay.
Again, it's
before you need to replace them.
It's just a little sharpness to it.
Okay.
It's not sharp like it's going to cut my fingers sharp, but when I run my fingers over it, there should be some resistance.
Cool.
If it's not, if it just feels like I'm just going over the top of this, it's time to go because we're not cutting anymore. Now we're just kind of rubbing it into,
mashing it into a submission.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Brandon.